Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. I hope you all are well and you all are following the COVID precaution as well. Stay safe, be healthy, and don't go outside. Okay? If you want to play, you play indoor games. So, in the previous video, I have told you about the life cycle of this silkworm, and we have discussed the things regarding that. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the term sericulture. Okay, so now we will try to understand how exactly a silk process and what do we do, how do we take care of the silkworm, how we will get the silk from the silkworm. So sericulture is the name which we give to the process of rearing of silkworm. So it is the name, like how we will do rearing of ship. So in the similar way, we also rear silkworm. They give us something which is valuable to us. So how do we take care of the silkworm? Now, so how do we take care of the silkworm? So the first thing that has to be done is the proper storage of eggs, because you see that that's where the life cycle is start. Okay. So how do we store the eggs? They should be stored in the warm temperature so that silkworm can be hatched from the eggs. So how is it exactly? If you talk about the accurate process, so if you look at this picture, these trays are made up of bamboos, which are made up of bamboos. So right now I'm talking about the mulberry silkworm, which feed on the mulberry leaf. The silkworm which feed on the mulberry leaves. So it is one of the most common type of silkworm. So on this bamboo tray, we keep some mulberry leaves so that once the eggs hatched, means they become silk when it become hatched, and it feed on those leaves. So that arrangement is done. Next, maintaining hygiene is extremely important, because without maintaining proper hygiene, there are the chances that maybe the silkworm will not be hatched, and the silkworm is not healthy. So we do not expect proper protein. Silkworm will not be healthy. We do not expect the proper protein get be secreted from the silkworm. So maintaining hygiene is very important in any kind of environment. Okay, so now next is favorable temperature and humidity. If the temperature becomes too low or too high, it might affect the hatching of the eggs. It might affect the survival of the silkworm. So temperature and humidity should be optimum. So if you look at this picture, so the people are preparing the twig frames. So these frames are being prepared where silkworm will stick their cocoon. What do we want? We were just interested in the cocoon of the silkworm. So once the silkworm grows an adult moth, we just get all the cocoon. So that is why we have just prepared the twig tree, so that the cocoon get attached to it, and later we can just take these twigs frames with all the cocoons, and that's how we can obtain silk from silkworm. So that is the main idea. This type of arrangement is done. Okay. Secondly, the silkworm need to be provided with enough leaves so that they can feed on leaves, and once they grow, they will start weaving their net. So net is being woven again. As I said, it move in this pattern, and that is how the secretion will keep forming the structure. So that net structure will be formed in the twig frames which are being arranged here, and once this silkworm grows further and get detached from the cocoon, all the cocoon get obtained from this twig frames. So that is the basic concept, or basically how the sericulture is being done. Now the question is how the silk process, how do we process the silk after this? So once this is done, the cocoons which are obtained we obtain all the cocoon. You just have the cocoons now. You don't have to deal with the silkworm now. So with this cocoon, what do? The silk fiber is taken out from the cocoon. Cocoon is made up of thin fibers, the thin secretion which have hardened due to the exposure of air. So the silk fiber are not taken out, and this silk fiber are again like you have a wool fibers, thin thread like structure. So all those things are taken out. As you can see in this picture, this process of taking out silk fiber from the cocoon is known as reeling of silk. So what do you do in this? The cocoon is being exposed to the sun or being exposed to the steam or a water vapor, and what happens? The fiber tend to separate it. It gets separated into individual thread-like structure by exposing the cocoon to a little bit of higher temperature, either in the front of sun or water vapor. So once you get this fiber, you are almost done. These fibers are then woven into silk threads. I think then you all know what happens. It is again then woven to form a silk cloth. Once you have silk cloth, that's it. You go to the tailor and rest it for a suit or a dress or whatever you want. So that's how the silk is obtained from silkworm. Now with this we have reached to the end of the lesson. So let us quickly look at some of the question. Question number 1. You must be familiar with the following nursery rhymes. Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Now you see there are terms which we have discussed in this lesson. We have talking about wool, fleece. Did I tell you about fleece? Let's see what are these things. Now there are few questions for you. Which part of the black sheep have wool? So by now I think you know the answer. Which part has the wool? The outermost covering. The sheep has a woolly covering outside. It is called its skin. And the skin they have hair all over their body. So how do we get the wool from the sheep? The entire woolly covering along with a very thin layer of the skin. What is meant by the white fleece? What do you mean by fleece? Fleece is nothing but the hair of the lamb. The woolly covering of the lamb. Woolly covering of the lamb. Now next question. The silkworm is a caterpillar, a larva. Choose the correct option. Now you have 4 options. What are silkworm? Silkworm comes it is just a stage in the life cycle of silk moth. So which stage it is? It is a caterpillar because it is like a worm. It is just like a caterpillar, and it is also like a larva because it is a larva stage of the silkworm, silk moth. So basically the correct answer would be both A and B. Question number 3. Which of the following does not yield wool? Yak, camel, goat or woolly dog? So the right answer would be woolly dog, because other than these all of them are woolly animals. They have a woolly covering on their body, and they are, unless an animal they have a woolly covering on their body, it will not be able to give it to wool. Okay, right? Now the question number 4. What is meant by the following terms? Rearing, shearing and sericulture. So rearing is all about taking good care of animals to obtain useful products from them. Now whether you talk about the animals like cow, which provide us milk, or we get so many milk products. So it is important that we take care of the cow. Then it will be able to give us good quality milk. Similarly, it is important to rear them or feed them properly, silkworms, to get a good silk. So they can remain in hygienic condition, they lay their eggs properly. So that is rearing. Taking overall care of the animals, feeding them properly, maintaining the proper hygiene. Shearing. It is the process of removal of woolly covering along with a thin layer of skin. For example, sheep or wool. When we want to obtain wool, so the first step is shearing. We just remove the layer of wool from their body. So this process doesn't hurt them because the layer of the skin which we are removing is a dead skin here. Sericulture, it is the name given to the process of rearing of silkworm. So sericulture, as I showed you some time back, that we make proper arrangement so that silkworm are able to produce eggs and the larva or the silk, so that the silk moth is able to produce egg and silkworm get hatched from the eggs. So proper environment, proper temperature, moisture, hygiene, everything is maintained so that silkworm can be reared properly. Now question number 5. Given below is a sequence of steps in the processing of wool which are missing step. Add them. So the first step is shearing, where the woolly covering is removed from the animal's body. First of all, we have to receive the wool from the animal. After that, what do? The next thing that to be done is washing it properly so that grease can be removed, dirt can be removed, and that is called scouring. Now when it is clean, it needs to be separated so that different type of wool, different texture of wool, they get separated from each other. Next is burr picking. Now in burr picking, what happens? The bubbles which are present on the wool which make it texture rough, so those burrs are removed. The wool can have a smooth structure. Now once that is done, then there is the fibers are dyeing or drying plus dyeing. It can be dried properly and then can be dyeing in different colors, and when that is done, then you have a wool fiber which you all need to do is just rolling them into yarn and then send them to the market, and it's done. Now out of the following, which are the two terms related to silk production? What is sericulture? It is rearing of silkworm. Yes, this is related to silk production because silkworm produces silk. Floriculture, it is nothing related to silk. It is related to flowers and it is not related to silk. Next is moriculture. Moriculture is about cultivation of mulberry leaves. Do you think mulberries are related to silk production? Yes, of course, because mulberries are food for a lot of silkworm, and those type of silkworm, they produce mulberries, which is very common type of silk. So therefore moriculture is again related to silk production. Apiculture is again related to silk. It is not related to silk production, it is silk production. So only sericulture and moriculture are related to silk production. Question number 7, in which you have a couple of things in both column 1 and 2. So the first one is scouring. It is again second step in the process of in the process of wool processing. So what happened in this? The wool that is obtained, that is washed and cleaned to remove all the dirt and grease. So this has to be matched with this. Mulberry leaves, they are the food for the silkworm. Yak is again wool yielding animal. Yes, of course, it produces wool. Cocoon is the structure which is formed by the protein secreting by the silkworm, and this cocoon, when hardened in presence of air, it produces silk fiber. So with this we have reached to the end of this lesson of fiber and fabric, and I hope you have enjoyed that how we will obtain silk from silkworm and wool from sheep. Thank you, students.